Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all for tuning into my channel today. We're going to be talking about a battle belt setup today. Okay, now I know everybody keeps beating this dead horse, um, but I like to do things and take them in a different direction. I don't like to tell people exactly what they should get and shame them for what they don't have or talk about what they do have. I like to help out and I like to give some ideas and spread some information out there to kind of give you guys a boost up as to benefit yourself, really. Okay. So this is mine, and I'm using it for home defense. I know that you guys see rifle mags up there. Some of you guys don't agree with using rifles for home defense. I don't, but there's a reason why I have those up there. Okay, and I'll explain in a little bit. Now, um, just because you see yours set up differently from somebody else doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong, doesn't necessarily mean that you're right. Okay, it's all about preference, all about purpose. Okay, now, purpose being, what is this belt for? Okay, like I said, mine is for home defense. Um, Preference being how you set this battle belt up. Okay, now it's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's going to be a lot of wrong and right. It's going to be a lot of do's and don'ts. It's going to be a lot of things that make you uncomfortable, things that feel great, things that make you faster, slower, whatever the case may be. Okay, it's all trial and error. Okay, so it's a learning journey. It's learning, what you can and can't do. Everything like that. All right, so let's jump right into it. We're gonna do the American thing and start from left, go right. First, I have my gloves right here. I found it really imperative that you have a pair of gloves. Um, does it really matter the particular make and model? No, not really. I mean, honestly, I've run through so many gloves in my lifetime, not even from the firearm aspect of it. Okay, I've been working with my dad for a number of years, and I can't tell you how many gloves I've destroyed and lost. Just based on the simplest things, right? And you really don't have to torture test them to see how strong they are. After a while, they just kind of give out. They have different, materials and thicknesses and everything like that. So get you a good pair of gloves, okay? They don't have to be the most expensive ones, like $50, $60, $70. Go get you a $20 pair of mechanics gloves. I got these on Amazon for about $15. They were on sale. Just jumped on it, threw something in there. I love mechanics. This is not mechanics. These are Brave gloves. I think I've never heard of that company before. But I actually took these outside with me and chopped some wood. Brought a couple dozen in the house and just brushed it off, and they look brand new. Okay. I'm not going to go over all the features that they have of them, but it will really be great if you got you a pair of gloves that allow you to work on the smartphone while you have them on, so you don't have to take them on and off, right? But yeah, get you a pair of gloves for protection, for weapon manipulation, being able to control that weapon a little bit better, recoil management, all that great stuff. Okay. So moving on down the line, I do have a 4 mags total on my battle belt, as you can see. As far as the rifle mags go, for home defense, I don't really recommend using a rifle for home defense because of the over penetration aspect of it. But I do keep these on here in case stuff gets more serious, where I have to take the fight out into the street. Okay, now I know everybody's thinking about, oh, well, that's illegal. Why would you go out there and risk your freedom? But I mean, there's a number of things that can happen, which is why we think about crap hits the fan situations or bug out situations, or maybe riots or something like that, right? Now, I don't live closer to downtown. It takes about 10 minutes to get to downtown, but that's not a great deal of distance between myself and the inner city. But if things start to spill over, if I have to protect my house and my family, then I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Okay. If you're looking at my pistol mags, these are canted back so that I am able to grab them more efficiently and more comfortably. Just rip it out, have my bullets facing forward so that my index finger is right there in the front. And all I have to do is just insert that mag into the gun. I don't have to twist it or turn it or flip it around and, you know, turn it all kind of funny ways to get it to work the way that I need it to. Okay. So I got 2 pistol mags. Rifle mags are canted back or facing backwards. I like to get that nice beer can grip on them. I found out that when you grip it from the bottom, it can be pretty fast, especially if you practice it and run drills multiple times a session. You can be efficient when it comes to that. But the only problem is the lack of real estate over that magazine can result in you losing it. Okay, so if you're doing it too fast to the point where, you know, you mess around and bump into the rifle or it gets caught on something and then you drop it, okay, and you're on the move, then you just lost a full 30 round magazine. Okay, now with beer can grip, got more real estate, got more control, does a great job. You insert that magazine and rock and roll. All right, there we go. Moving over, we have the med kit. I need to find that medical sticker or Velcro sticker that I had up there. I think my daughter got a hold of it. But I know I might not be able to find that. But it's all right. You take some fabric paint and paint a little red cross sign up there. And you'll be able to tell the difference. Love this because it was inexpensive. I think it was like $50. The pouch came by itself. I already had the medical supplies for it. It is a rip-away IFAK kit. Usually I just put that loop over there. And then just buckle this back together. All right, I might mess with that a little bit later because it's not acting right. Maybe it does, see? Yep, they ain't acting right. But anyway, it's easy to rip off. Have it smack dab in the middle of my battle belt so that way I can reach it with my left hand or my right hand. There we go, finally. I can reach it with either hand. It seems like when you have more equipment on, since it's so bulky and since it's bulging out from the body, it's a little bit hard to be ambidextrous, okay, if you need it to be. I know with my plate carrier, I have a hydration pack on there that it looks similar to a book bag, so it protrudes out just a little bit more than the average hydration pack. But even when I try to reach back there and grab some stuff, it can be a little bit more difficult even with, you know, both hands, okay? So, med kit, great, good to go. I do have a tourniquet that I kind of rigged up here. This strap came from another IFAK kit that I had, and it really wasn't that great as far as, you know, staying up on the battle belt. The back of it kept popping off with these little buttons back here. So, went with a new one, better one. Been working with this for a while. Tourniquets are a must-have. This is my home defense setup, so I had to make sure that I at least had one on here. So even if I were to go full, you know, U.S. Navy SEAL, not that I've ever been a U.S. Navy SEAL, but if I had to go full, you know, full military mode on somebody, then I would at least have something to help me last if I were injured, okay? And it could be a number of things. I might get cut, might get popped, might get seriously injured, impaled, whatever the case may be. This will help stop the bleeding, obviously, okay? You know, you guys have been over that many times. I know people have talked about that probably 1,015 different times, all right? So yeah, tourniquet, it's in a good place. A lot of people were thinking, as I showed this to a buddy of mine, he said, well, isn't it going to get in the way of, you know, your pistol or, you know, your IFAK kit? No, because once the belt curves around the body and it kind of molds to the body, then everything starts to space out, okay? Which brings me into my next piece of this puzzle. Um, this holster was made by a local sheriff. I think that he did a really phenomenal job. Okay, now I was really skeptical at first because I didn't know if it was going to hold up as well. I didn't know if it was going to do as good as Safariland holsters. That's what I had a lot of suggestions for, but I decided to give him a try, and he has yet to disappoint. Okay, retains that pistol really well. Don't have any problems, any issues. The screws haven't backed up. Well, I glued those screws down, but he gave me the holster, gave me the drop leg equipment for it, and I think I paid all of $60 or $70 for the entire thing. Of course, I had to make my own strap. This was an old belt that I had with a Cobra buckle, and it has like that elastic feel to it, so it stretches a little bit. I thought this would be best for a drop leg holster strap because it actually expands, and it seems like your legs kind of expand when you sit down. I don't know if it gets bigger or what the case may be, but it feels great. Fits perfectly with me. Don't have any issues, no problems, no hangups. Okay. Back behind that, I do have a fixed blade M&P knife by Smith & Wesson. You guys can laugh if you want to. I know it was like a $20 knife, but it actually does a phenomenal job. Okay. I was using it for some other things. I forgot what I was using it for particularly, but I thought it might be a great idea to put this on my battle belt. I bought one for myself and my wife, and it's held up pretty good so far. Zero complaints, zero issues. Don't have anything negative to say about it. Keeps a nice sharp blade. No issues, no problems. All right, so I think I got everything as far as going left or right. Last thing, we do have chem sticks. Okay, now there's several things that we have to talk about when it comes to chem sticks. Number one, this is a keychain cord. I think that's the name of the thing. But basically what it does is this little part right here unscrews. And the one that I got was about 4 or 5 inches. I think I should have got a little bit bigger so that I could put more on just one ring. But it's perfectly fine. It's no big deal. Just put 2 of them up there. But this works really well. All you have to do is remove the rubber band, snatch one off, and you got your chem stick. Okay, crack it, throw it, use it, wave it in the air, whatever. All right. If you notice, I have 5 on there, 2 green, 2 red, and then I think that's blue. Yeah, 1 blue. Now everybody has their own different color code, and it's perfectly fine. If you're with a militia or group or some sort of military, you might be operators, contractors, whatever the case may be. I don't have a color system yet. Obviously, green means good. Red oftentimes means bad. Blue is like a neutral color. I have my own. I'll make up something a little bit later on down the line, but it works out a great deal for me. With chem sticks, though, you have to be careful about exposure because they do get dim over time, especially if you leave them exposed to the sunlight, or I don't know if it's the sunlight or just light in general. Usually I keep this in my closet so it's exposed to very little light to begin with. Okay. Now, why do I have mine rubber band together? You don't want to be running around and need to make as less noise as possible with this rattling all over the place. Okay, with these clinking together. Now, it's not as loud as metal, but it still causes a great deal of noise with all of these rubber bands. These chem sticks flopping all over the place, okay? So that is the main purpose of the rubber bands. I guess they could be used for other things once you start using these up. Why do I have the electrical tape on them? A lot of people will tape half of it up to kind of dim the light on it so it's not so bright and doesn't bring so much attention to you, especially if you're trying to keep a low profile. That's a very smart and intelligent idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that myself, but those guys got to it first. Tape half of it up, cuts the light the light in half. These usually last about, let's say about 12 hours. So that's a very great amount of time to be lighting up as bright as they do. Um, Electrical tape. Uh, it's basically to tell the difference between colors. Green ones have no tape on them. I was thinking about adding electrical tape halfway up the thing to kind of dim the light for one, and then leave one fully exposed. Red has tape on the bottom. Green has no tape. Blue has tape at the top. So I know that some people might think, well, why wouldn't you be able to tell the difference in color? If you're in a low light situation, let's say you're in a pitch black, obviously, if you're going to be jumping on one of these and needing to see what's going on, then you have to be able to tell the difference in color. Okay, if you're communicating with your team or with somebody that can actually help you, that makes a great deal of difference. You tell them, hey, this is me waving a red chem stick and you accidentally pick up a blue, they're going to mistaken you for, maybe an enemy or something like that. And you don't want to, any type of miscommunication, right? Or it very well could be a situation where you crack one of those and according to their code colors, that means danger or enemies in the area or whatever the case may be, right? So that makes a very big difference in, survival or death, basically. Okay. So I mean that's pretty much it for my belt setup. Don't have any extra extravagant things to go over. Mine is real simple. I know that you guys may run into people or see people with a dump pouch or maybe a water bottle pouch or something like that. You might use it for candy, snacks, whatever the case may be, right? If you guys decide to jump on that, there's no problem with that at all. Just understand that a battle belt has a limited capacity or limited space that you're working with overall. So you definitely want to keep that type of stuff in mind. Just because there's Molly available doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have something on it. Okay, I got the basic essentials that I absolutely have to have and that I absolutely need. There's nothing far-fetched, nothing, advanced or, wild about this setup. Just keep it simple. Less is more. Well, that's what they tell us in art class, but, So I am the Art King. Greatly appreciate you all for tuning into my channel yet again. We will be having more videos pop up soon. If you have any questions or concerns, if you have any more advice, I am all ears. I promise you I'm not too stuck up, not too educated to take advice from more experienced people. All right. So I want you guys to stay strapped, stay dangerous, and God bless.